Welcome to Reflections by QCB. My name is Chika Balogun. Last week I gave you an assignment, or us an assignment, because I'm also partaking in it, to draw up a bucket list of gratitude. People who have shown us acts of kindness, at different stages in our lives, and just to say thank you, either in the place of prayer if we can't reach them, and if we can reach them and say thank you. There's a song that goes, count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God has done. Count your blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. That is a song that makes us remember all the great and mighty things that God has done for us. And then this list you're writing is a list that would make you remember all the big and small things that people have done in your life that you ought to be grateful for. See it as the positive side of your memoirs. I have divided mine into phases: secondary school, university, post-grad, different workplaces, different communities, church, and people I met along the path of life outside of these environments, and I've started feeling them in with the act, and I'm very grateful to all of you, and I say a big thank you. Please feel free to DM me and share what acts of kindness you've received in the past, or who the person is, and if you want us to give a shout out to the person, I'd gladly do so. Today though, our topic is a little bit more emotional, deeper, still on relationships. Our topic today is betrayal. How do you deal with betrayal? How do you deal with disloyalty in a relationship? Betrayal itself is an act, but out of that act, feelings are born on the part of the person betrayed. And then we say our feelings of betrayal. These feelings range from surprise, anger, confusion, shame, insecurity, loneliness, sometimes even disgust and fear. The emotions bounce off each other. There is no particular sequence. Usually, however, at the beginning, it's probably surprise, confusion, and then anger. And then all the other ones begin to bounce in and out randomly. In my colloquial English, I would say the feelings of betrayal bounce up and down through our body system. What could be examples of betrayal? I like being practical. In marriage, for instance, it could be infidelity, it could be emotional affairs where it's not physical, but then you're hooked up emotionally with someone else. It could be lying, where there's a drinking problem or a drug problem, and you've made promises that you never go back, and then you go back and then you lie to cover up, or you're lying for other reasons. It could be a child lying to parents that they're still in school when they already are rusticated from school for whatever reasons, and then they keep on taking school fees and all the attendant benefits, and yet they're not in school. and the parents get to find out years later. Some even go to the extent of actually bringing fake certificates, fake NYSC certificates, and all of that. And sadly, they just wasted their time and their parents' time for years. It could be backstabbing, people who are nice to your face but say different things about you when you're not there. Broken promises, not being present in the relationship. You suddenly find yourself lonely, and you're wondering, where's my partner gone? Where's my friend gone? They're there physically, but the connection is gone. It could be not being there when you need them. You've given an arm and a leg for them in different situations. They know they have you always in their corner, but when you do need them, they simply vanish. They simply vanish. It could be siding with others, where you assume both of you hadn't had an understanding about a particular thing. Unfortunately, they turn around and side the other person. There's so many things that cause betrayal. It could be leaking out information about you, that is not supposed to be public knowledge. What could be the cause of betrayal? Betrayals could be, caused by carelessness, could be caused by weakness, or could actually be deliberate conscious acts. Carelessness and weakness are a little bit easier to forgive. Deliberate conscious acts, that's a whole matter on its own and harder to let go of. But then, how do we get over betrayals? For me, the first thing is to tell yourself that you're going to resist the temptation to retaliate. Resist every temptation to retaliate. And it's not easy. Believe me, in my brain, I plan all the scenes. I'm James Bond, and gang. And sometimes I'm even James Bond and Clint Eastwood, gang, in what I think I should do to them. But I've come to realize that I'm only giving them more power over me. As long as I keep them in my brain, they're living rent-free in my brain. So it's double jeopardy. They betrayed me once, and I'm relieving the act of betrayal and keeping myself a prisoner by leaving them to live rent-free in my brain. So please resist retaliation. Reflect on yourself. Be realistic about this relationship. Where there are signs, even from the get-go, that this was probably going to happen, or you chose to gloss over it. Be truthful to yourself, so that the possibility of it repeating again would be greatly reduced. Grieve if you must, and I tell you that I have grieved. I've had my pity parties where I just stayed in my nightie on bed for a few days, just wailing and crying and relieving my relationship with that person, but to the glory of God, I knew when to stop. We must know when to stop, and be able to move on. You must ask yourself critical questions, and not the why questions. Why me? Why this? No. But proactive questions like, what am I feeling? What are my options? Because you might need Very technical answers. Depends on what the betrayal is all about. What are my options? What do they know about me? What can they do with that information? How can I stop that? And what really matters a few years from now? Will this person or this particular act matter a few years from now? These are proactive questions that, when you answer correctly, helps you heal, helps you understand yourself better, helps you understand if there were trigger points from you that allowed the betrayal to take place in the first place. Because sometimes, unknowingly and unconsciously, we encourage people to betray us. But in all of these things, if you can, speak with the person, especially if the person is someone you really care about and brings a lot of value to your life. Speak with them. Try to understand why they did what they did. If they're arrogant about it, so be it. Release them. But some would actually explain, apologize, and hopefully you're able to mend fences better. Take time away from them. If it's possible, put some physical distance. And then if you're not even physically in the same house or environment, then shut out everything. Phone calls, social media, any of those things. Just take time away from them. Time to reflect. Speak to someone. Speak to someone who can be neutral and impartial in being able to walk you through what has just happened. Or speak to a professional, because sometimes betrayals can be very, very traumatic. So it might even just go beyond a good friend helping you out. You might need a professional. Forgiveness is critical. God says if someone offends us 70 times, 7 times in a day, we should forgive them. I know it sounds very difficult. That's a command. It's mandatory. So first of all, forgive them. Release them. Get them out of your brain. Declutter your brain. Clean the gutters out. You don't need them there. Or you don't need that memory on a burner. Forgiveness helps you heal. Forgiveness helps you be open. Forgiveness helps you to live your life again, to trust again, to live in joy, in peace, and in happiness again, regardless of what the past might have been. Don't prolong your hurting. Don't delay your healing process by holding on to bitterness and anger. It's all allowed at the initial stage of a betrayal because we're only human. But very, very quickly, remember that your purpose is bigger than that person. So you need to release that person and begin to live in your purpose. Take care of numero uno, you. Do the fun things that you'd like to do. See James Bond. My name is Bond. James Bond. And if you're like me, I take my shots shaken, not stirred. Find fun things to do. Be with people who make you happy at that time. Engage your spirit, your soul in a renewal. Whatever you do, don't end up a bitter person. the person who betrayed you would have won twice. Until next week, when we continue to examine this topic of betrayal, I commend you to God and to a peaceful and fun-filled weekend. If you're like me, we're going to hit the movies this weekend. Tell me what you're doing. DM me. Be blessed.